Yeah. Let's get stupid.
You're listening to a Roddenberry podcast.
Today is Friday, April 23rd, 2021, and this is your daily Star Trek news from the Roddenberry Podcast Network. On today's show, Michael Dorn continues to tease us about his new Star Trek-related project. Anson Mount talks about why Star Trek is episodic by nature, and I've got the answer to Tuesday's trivia question. I'm Alison Pitt, and today's show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month of counseling by visiting betterhelp.com/DSTN. So, believe it or not, but today is the 2-year anniversary of daily Star Trek news. Now, I'm not going to be soppy and ridiculous, but I do want to take the chance to thank everyone who has supported me and supported the show over the last couple of years. That includes anyone who has ever retweeted us or replied to us on social media or told their friends about us. It, of course, includes Chris and Marina, who have done just a crazy amount of work to keep everything going for not nearly enough in return. And last but not least, all of you who support the show on Patreon. You guys are the rock, the foundation, and more than anything else, it's your support that kind of spurs me on and keeps my motivation up and keeps the show going. Anyway, there's not a lot more to say than that. It's been a fun couple of years. Thank you. All right, let's get on with the news, shall we? Michael Dorn has added a new piece to the mysterious puzzle that he teased the internet with earlier this week. And it brings us one step closer to what is likely to be the big reveal, TM. Now on Monday, if you don't recall, Dorn tweeted a cryptic message simply saying, "Just got the news, being summoned back into action. Starfleet calls. #ad. Long story short, the internet went nuts, thinking erroneously that he could have been announcing an appearance in Star Trek Picard. That theory was quickly debunked, but the excitement still held. That teaser has now been retweeted nearly 5,000 times, with 47,000 likes. Fast forward to Wednesday, when Dorn released a new clue to chew on, a 6-second video that he posted on Twitter. The video is of a stylized, animated Worf in Star Trek The Next Generation era uniform, as seen through a view screen with bad interference. It's hard to make out what he says through the static, but it sounds like, "Please come in. This is the USS Artemis. If you are hearing this."
Come in. Pete, come in. This is the USS Artemis. If you are hearing this...
Now, based on the content, it's pretty likely that this is a video teaser for the recently released Star Trek Legends on Apple Arcade. The animation style matches that game, and the USS Artemis, for those who haven't played it, is your ship, which you have steered into the Nexus in order to rescue survivors. We're still waiting for an official announcement, but it sure looks like Michael Dorn will be voicing Worf in an upcoming update. Star Trek Legends is free to play with no ads or in-app purchases, but it's exclusive to Apple Arcade. To find out more, search for Star Trek Legends in the App Store. Now, up next, a bit of Strange New Worlds news. Speaking with Collider in an interview published this week, Star Trek Strange New Worlds actor Anson Mount shared his thoughts on the episodic format planned for the upcoming series. "I think that Star Trek is by nature episodic," Mount said, echoing comments made last year by Strange New Worlds executive producers Akiva Goldsman and Alex Kurtzman. Mount went on to suggest that the franchise wasn't limited to that format, adding, "Star Trek can be a lot of things, as we've seen in every iteration of it, but classic Trek is really founded on the big idea of the week, and the big idea of the week needs room to breathe." Now, part of that room to breathe could mean not letting the show get too tied up in serialized structure, but that doesn't mean that Strange New Worlds won't have a cohesive storyline. Kurtzman said last year that the series will have more standalone episodes. There will be emotional serialization. There will be two-parters. There will be larger plot arcs, but it really is back to the model of Alien of the Week. Now, in his Collider interview, Mount explained further why episodic is better for his new series. even if he personally prefers to work on serialized. He said, in serialized structure, you're trying to take care of so many relationships that there doesn't tend to be a lot of room for the big idea of the week. Normally, serialized is my taste as an actor, but Strange New Worlds really felt like it needed to be episodic. Now, while it's likely to be a while before we see Strange New Worlds on our screens, what with 3 other series already expected to come out in 2021, you can get yourself ready for its eventual debut by catching up both with the original series and with Star Trek Discovery Season 2, now streaming on Paramount+. Now, I've got the answer to Tuesday's trivia question here in just a moment, but first, a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. If there's something interfering with your happiness, or something that's standing between you and your personal goals, BetterHelp can help. BetterHelp is not a crisis line. They're not a self-help service, but what they are is professional counseling done securely online. When you join BetterHelp, they'll match you with a licensed therapist who is skilled in what you need. You can message them anytime, get timely and thoughtful responses in return, and you can also schedule weekly video or phone sessions all in a way that suits you. For me, that means using their mobile app to chat with my counselor, but you can just as well message them in your browser or, like I said, through video chats or on the phone. I want you to start living a happier life today. And as a daily Star Trek news listener, you can get 10% off your first month of counseling by visiting betterhelp.com/DSTN. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's betterhelp, HELP.com/DSTN. Now, it's the answer to this week's Trek trivia. On Tuesday, I asked you, in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, the Bajoran time of cleansing was blamed for a drop in customers at Quark's. Quark attempted to recoup his losses by cutting the pay of Quark's staff, but they resisted and ended up forming a union. But what was the name of the episode where all that took place? The answer? Bar Association, from Season 4. In that episode, the charge to form a union was led by Rom, who was first suggested the idea by Dr. Bashir. The Guild of Restaurant and Casino Employees was eventually successful in achieving their goals, but with the consequence that they agreed to disband. Womp womp. However, it was a significant event in Ferengi history because it very much went against Ferengi profit-driven tradition. For more Trek trivia, tune in next Tuesday. Well, that's it for today's daily Star Trek news from the Roddenberry Podcast Network. Don't forget to check out the other great shows on the network at podcasts.roddenberry.com. Daily Star Trek News is produced by me, Alison Pitt, with selected stories by Chris Peterson. Today's show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month of counseling at betterhelp.com/DSTN. I'm back on Monday with more of the Star Trek news you need to know. I'm Alison Pitt. Have a wonderful weekend. And live long and prosper.
This is a Roddenberry podcast. For more great podcasts, visit podcast.roddenberry.com.